yet.
Now.
Hello.
Hello, Internet Land.
Our first Phoenix live stream.
Yeah. We are live tonight from the Phoenix Ace. Everyone say hi.
Hi. This is technically our first studio live audience because we didn't really have like a crowd.
We wanted a crowd. We had somewhat of a crowd. We didn't have this big a crowd.
Yeah.
We are really excited to have you guys. We're going to do a quick icebreaker. See, my friend here, Alex, he loves tacos. He really loves tacos, and he is not happy about certain rulings from a certain not Southwest state that may have been done recently. So it's a quick icebreaker. We're going to be doing this, and if you're online, you can join via Mentimeter. You can also, if you're here, scan the QR code if you want to, or you can just participate live. And while you guys are doing that, we're actually going to jump over. Again, nope, not that far. If you are live, if you're with us on YouTube, join in and post where you're listening from so we can see where everyone is. Otherwise,
Is your mouse not up with QR code?
no, not that much. But otherwise, yeah, join in. If you're here in person and you just want to connect easily, you can go to menti.com, use that code. I see Phoenix is already popping up, so we definitely know we have people here.
I don't know if that's Phoenix or if that's Tucson. That might be Phoenix. All right, 2 people, maybe 3.
Can I be in California but be physically in Phoenix?
No.
Well, you have to grab your phone and go to the QR code and claim that you're you're listening from California.
We have one from Alaska. I did not know we had any Jeremigos in Alaska, but we do now.
Why haven't we done this before?
We did this a couple weeks ago.
No, the QR code to find out where people are tuning in from?
We did it a couple of weeks ago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
You were on the stream.
I don't remember this. I remember the.
Now, the map has gone about 60% fancier.
There, maybe that's why I didn't recognize it.
All right, we got about 7 people joining in, 4 thumbs up. We're going to move on to, we're going to ask a few qualifiers because we got to make sure you guys love tacos before we get to the ultimate question. So our first question, let me move the this. How much do you like tacos? 1 through 10.
Who did this? There you go, my best friend.
It's probably me, 'cause it's easy.
There is a correct answer here.
Clearly, there is. In case you guys missed it, just a little background. Rodney and I and Rob, we did a 24-hour live stream in middle of February. And around 22, 23 hours into this 24-hour live stream, we were just done. And
Okay, who? Sean, I know it's Sean.
It is Sean. Sean,
It
gotta
is.
go.
He's actually putting on, and I put his comment for all to see. Sean Doyle from Lee's team. I'm not a huge taco fan, so he's kind of skewing toward the low end.
Sean, we're going to change your opinion in Anaheim when you come next year.
But anyway, you're
Anyway,
saying?
yeah, so 23rd hour, Mark Brickley from ClearPath, he came on and clearly saw us like just ready to go to sleep after not talking.
Alex was not doing well at this point.
It was bad. And so he basically started the conversation of like, is taco a sandwich? And that just like triggered me immediately because clearly a taco is not a sandwich, which we'll get to later. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. So that's what born this whole like backstory into anybody and everybody who's part of the Atlassian community. So we welcome you all to join us on the taco conversation, as you will now see fellow Jeremigos talking about it throughout various channels in the Atlassian community. So if you ever see anything in Atlassian about tacos, it's not Taco the Trello dog, but rather this taco.
So he thinks. Okay, second question, and this one is free form. Please do not make me regret this, people. But what is your favorite kind of taco?
NSFW, is that friendly?
Do not make me regret this. Alex.
I'm just saying. Anybody go to
We
TJ?
have a celebrity in the audience, a taco lover, a different taco lover. Her name happens to be Brittany Joyner,
Oh,
the Trello queen.
she definitely does love a specific taco.
Yep.
You guys ever seen taco? I think he's out there. Nobody's been down to Tijuana to get tacos?
I like somebody's response, free.
Free is the best kind of taco. I mean, I think they may have that.
If you haven't voted, can you put my favorite cow tongue?
Oh.
It's actually really good.
Wow.
That's just
That was yum. There was no in between there. It was either a groan or a nodding yes. There was nothing in between on that one.
No, it was a yum.
Cow tongue is the best tacos out there. Just FYI. If you haven't tried it, you gotta give it a shot.
All right, so this one, you're going to rank these answers. A taco is it A, a food, B, my spirit animal, C, what makes life worth living, D, an acronym control officer, or E, a Trello mascot?
But
One
is
of
it-
these is actually true.
But if it's food, is it a sandwich or something else?
Hold on.
Depends on what state
You're
you're in.
jumping-
No
Depends on
spoilers.
what state
You're jumping
in.
ahead a little bit, no spoilers.
Two of these is very, very true, or three of these might be true.
I love how this thing is jumping
A
around.
lot of movement there.
So,
Where's the Toyota Tacoma answer?
that's number 6, it didn't make the cut. I am surprised the Trello mascot is not trending higher. I thought this was the Atlassian Community Event.
And you're not the only one. Brittany is, and I quote, extremely disappointed Trello isn't at the top.
Brittany, I did this one for you.
After I reminded you.
Yeah, Alex did remind me, but I'm like, it has to be on there or Brittany's going to get upset. So, Brittany, I did this one for you.
And then her next response, also, I see we've learned from team and we don't have chat enabled on Menti.
Yes, we did.
Hilarious.
That's why I was a little nervous about the previous slide, but you guys just find my faith in humanity. I'm proud. All right, moving on. So we know that taco is indeed a food. Also, what makes life worth living. Third, a Trello mascot. Fair enough. Fourth, it is not many people's spirit animal. And fifth, no one thinks it's an acronym control officer. Very good, very good. So, final question. Is a taco a sandwich?
There we go.
What state are we in?
Arizona.
Come on, Scott, you can answer correctly.
Anyone that
This
answers,
is
Only one
dead
answer.
easy.
anyone that answers Stromboli is not eligible for prizes.
No raffle for you.
Out of here with that nonsense.
Wow.
As Josh said, we will have raffles later on for both the in-person crowd and the people on the Jira LIfe.
It's quite
Half and
neck
half.
and neck.
It is a
How?
dead heat.
Y'all confused.
Guys, I am more proud of you than I could ever admit,
Oh, no.
because this is a
Uh-oh.
chaos answer.
Oh,
boy.
Now they're just doing it to make me mad.
I think this is Brittany's revenge for the previous slide.
Go to Kentucky.
I know, right? You had to also get a picture that looks like. We actually do have scientific evidence for how to prove this out. And our t-shirt is coming soon.
Oh,
There you go.
Oh,
boy.
Chaos agent.
Flat earthers.
This person needs to go this way.
all right. There might be a little bit of shenanigans here. Sean Doyle says, logged into multi-accounts to vote for sandwich. And we also,
a while because they had to look up what a Stromboli is.
that's true.
We had a whole conversation earlier today about exactly what is a Stromboli.
So also we welcome our farthest listener, Stu, saying hi from New Zealand.
Hey, Stu.
Oh, hi, Stu.
Stu, I owe you a video. It's coming after this.
Stu, same.
He'll find it.
At 6 hours.
So I think we have proven that everyone here definitely is a taco lover.
Can we do this a show of hands in the room though? Because Sean's kind of like poisoning the well.
All right, let's do it.
Sure.
Everyone here live, raise your
Are you
hand.
saying the election is stolen? I've been hearing enough of that.
He's grasping at straws.
I came to the Southwest region area to prove him that.
Hey, it's not me who did this.
He's grasping at tacos.
Should have worn my taco, not a sandwich shirt.
You should have.
I did bring it. Out of fit.
And we also welcome Joseph from San Diego.
Hello.
All right.
All right, so I think we
show
are
of hands,
done.
right?
Yeah, show of hands.
If a
Everyone-
taco is a sandwich?
Raise your hand right now if you think taco is a sandwich. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What's up?
Okay, now raise your hand. Put your hands back down, everyone. Raise your hands if you think taco is not a sandwich. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the local crowd has it that tacos are not a sandwich.
As it should be.
That's correct.
Thank you.
So, for the crowd here, we are the crew for the Jira LIfe. We are a weekly podcast and talk show. We interview people from all across the Atlassian ecosystem. Me, myself, and our producer, Bob.
Hi, everybody.
And it is our pleasure to be here this week to kind of recap for you guys the absolute experience that was Team 24. We have a bunch of events going on today. We're going to have Summer and Josh here from the local area who are going to come up and kind of talk about what it's like to be at team for the first time. And then I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to give a presentation. We're actually stealing it from the Atlanta Ace for you guys, talking about everything that was announced during the keynote. And trust me, I have bottled water because I'm going to need it. It was a lot of stuff announced. And then we're going to wrap up. Hello. We're going to wrap up. We're going to raffle off some prizes. We do have prizes, as I said earlier, for everyone here, or not everyone here, but we have prizes for the local crowd, and we have prizes for the internet crowd. So definitely stick around if you're online. Stick around if you're around here. But yeah, Summer, Josh, if you guys will up come up, we'll switch over.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to go first. So I'm Summer Hogan. I work at CSAA Insurance Group, otherwise known as AAA Insurance. And I've been an Atlassian community leader for almost 2 years now. In August, I'll reach my 2-year anniversary. These are a bunch of pictures that I took, Josh took, and we also got from the community leader pack of pictures. So just a bunch of pictures that we put together. You'll notice a lot of them is of me, of selfies that I tried to take with as many people as I possibly could. So my first impression of team was, wow, what an experience. It was really amazing. I went to team for the first time, as like Rodney said, and it was a really great experience, and so many things come to mind. The first thing that comes to mind is the walking. It's a lot of walking, but more important than that, really the first thing that comes to mind for me is the people. The people I met were really amazing. It was extremely warm, very welcoming environment, including, Rodney and Alex knew that it was my first time, and they welcomed me really nicely. Bob was also super nice to me as well, as usual. Most people I encountered knew it was my first time at team, especially all the community leaders, and they were very warm. I got lots of hugs. I think I hugged a little too many people. One thing I noticed right away at team was how happy everyone was. Every person I encountered there was so happy to be there and very genuine and really wanted to be there and participate in all the events.
So
The vibe,
just to interrupt
Yeah.
a little, some people are showering you with some virtual love. Brittany says, Summer, I miss you.
Oh, thanks, Brittany.
Stu says, yo, Brittany.
Yeah, we should have probably, as a disclaimer, the Jira LIfe has a lot of interruptions.
That's fine, no worries, all good. So yeah, the vibe and the atmosphere was just great. Whenever I sat down to eat, one thing I noticed is I sat down to eat twice by myself, and within seconds, someone sat down next to me and just started talking to me. Hi, who are you? What's your name? Where are you from? Who do you work for? It was really amazing. Everyone was so friendly. I literally did not encounter one person that was upset or disgruntled or, oh my gosh, my company sent me to another conference to go to. It was really a great experience when it came to the people. I even had the pleasure, and it's going to come up in a picture here at some point, of meeting Scott Farquhar and Mike Cannon-Brooks, which was amazing. Scott, when I met him, he asked me if it was my first time at team, and I said it was, and I'm also a community leader. He gave me a really nice hug, and I took a picture with him. That's going to come up here in this slideshow. The second thing I noticed was the programming. It must be a great undertaking to plan something like this. There were over 300 sessions, so many things to do, keynotes, and then in the expo hall, all the vendors, and then all the expo stages. They had so many presentations. It's such an undertaking for them to do this. There was so much to learn. I quickly realized I had to be very selective about what I wanted to do. I got advice from a lot of community leaders to walk the expo hall and meet the vendors. It's really nice to meet vendors because they tell you like what they're doing in the Atlassian world, what they're working on, things that can help you resolve your problems at the office. So as far as sessions that I attended, I would have to say my favorite session was the Ted Lasso keynote. Jason, I see some like heads like, yep. Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt, they were so sweet, and it was moderated by Scott Farquhar. Not only was it funny, but it was informative, and I really loved their themes. The themes of their keynote were really kindness, empathy, and teamwork. I also enjoyed the founders keynote. I'm not going to talk a lot about that, but I will say, because I know that these guys are going to do that, but I will say my favorite announcement was definitely Rovo. I think Rovo will help us a lot. I always search for things in Atlassian products and I can't find what the heck I'm looking for. I really need unified search, just me personally. So the last thing that I'll talk about is being a community leader at team. Amazing, so amazing. They pamper the heck out of you. It's unbelievable. For me, being a community leader is a very rewarding experience, and they really try to reward all the hard work that you do throughout the year. You know, it was a pretty big undertaking planning this event with all the ACE leaders in Phoenix, and then all of the contributions I give to the online community. They really make all of your contributions worthwhile when you go to team, and they reward you. From the welcome reception to the community leader workshop to the leader awards dinner, they really try to make your experience very memorable and very enjoyable. I even got to speak at the community and learning booth about being a community leader, and I think I recruited a couple of new community leaders during that speech and during that session. So that was really nice too. So in closing, team was awesome. It was amazing, and I look forward to many more ACE events with all of you guys, and I also look forward to Team 25 in Anaheim next year.
I'm hosting.
Woo!
It's in my hometown, so.
Josh, over to you.
Josh, real quickly, who went to team?
Wow, lots of people. Cool.
Who was their first team?
This was my first. My first. Our company, I think, has been there before.
Okay.
We were sponsored.
Sorry, Josh.
Oh, you're good.
Lots of interruptions on the Jira LIfe.
I'm Josh Costella. I work for a company called Precipio. I'm a senior manager of modern service management. So technically this wasn't my first team, but it was my first team as a community leader. I actually just became a community leader a few months ago. So this was my fourth team, third in a row in person. The fourth one 4 years ago. Everybody was virtual. But yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of what Summer said, and you know, it's always been a really great experience. It's always a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of great people. And this time was no different. The community events that we had, from the Community Leader Day to the award ceremonies to the various dinners and parties that we got to go to, all that stuff was really enjoyable and, promoted, for lack of a better word, community. And yeah, I'm really glad to have been a part of it and to continue to be a part of it. And I would definitely recommend, if anyone is interested in, being a community leader, that's something that you should definitely talk to us about or think about doing yourselves. It's a really worthwhile venture. And it helps you, I would say it helps you, those of us that have been in this for a while, we can't do our jobs without Googling, right? And then usually within the first or second result, you're going to end up on a community post. And that's where we do probably most of our learning and most of our communicating and most of our networking. And this being an extension of that, I think is, it's kind of unique in the industry, to be honest. I know that, certain products like Salesforce and others have a similar kind of thing, but I think Atlassian's is really just kind of special. I haven't come across anything like that before. So yeah, I think I got to meet a lot of great people. Some of the people that Summer mentioned as well. I got to meet Scott Farquhar. I think it was the second to last night, the night of our community awards party, and he was really great. Really kind of humble and down to earth.
That's me.
Alex won an award. He's a
Yes.
superstar.
You don't really.
It doesn't get too big.
Yeah. I don't know. You just don't really. Yeah, there you go. You don't really expect someone that's worth $20 billion to be down to earth and kind of easy to talk to and approachable, but he was all of those things. Explain what? The thing with the faces?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if those that would know, but Scott recently announced that he was retiring, and at the awards dinner, for whatever reason, the team,
Mike
wanted to do it. Oh, that's right. They got a bunch of faces made of Scott's face, and we held him up on sticks. So basically, when Scott finally walked in, everybody had his face. It was just kind of funny.
He was stunned. He was like,
Yeah.
what's going on here?
He looked a little weirded out.
security guards.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think just overall, not only being involved in the community is a great idea, but I think just go to team once, just go and check it out and meet all the kind of really great people that we know and that really are there to help. Like everybody, I think that's the one kind of lasting thing that has been the most consistent since just myself being involved in the community, is just how everybody really wants to help each other and how everybody is really there to support each other, and no one's trying to compete, no one's trying to one up anybody. Everybody's there because for whatever reason, we all ended up as this is our career, this is what we do every single day. And luckily there's a lot of people just like us that just want to help each other. So, yeah.
One thing I'll add real quick is if you go to teams as just a regular attendee, it's like a 2-day thing. But as champions that we are, it's like a 5-day thing. So we get a lot more events, a lot more things happening that most of the attendees don't get to participate or be a part of. So it is definitely a much. I think my days were from like 8 to 11 p.m. like for 5 straight days. It was crazy. Every minute filled out.
And then you had all the walking.
I taped my feet together so that I could keep walking because it hurt so much. I wanted to cry.
Does anybody have any questions about anything? team related or community related.
Or community leader related.
Clear as day, clear as mud.
And we can also take those questions if you're listening to us virtually. No question, but a comment from another far off watcher listener, Mr. Sajid Nair, who is, question. And this is to Alex. Alex, why didn't you dance during the leader dinner?
I'm not a dancer. There wasn't any songs that I liked. There wasn't anything about tacos.
Oh, they gave him a sandwich.
I know, right? They gave me a sandwich. I was sad. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Well, if I remember the agenda right, because I can't pull it up right now, I believe I am next.
Yep.
So, forgive some of the backstage shenanigans there. Trying to get everything set up for you guys. But let's start with who am I? For those of you who may not know me, I was introduced at the beginning, but I am Rodney Nissen. I have been an Atlassian admin for 10 years. It does not feel like 10 years. My God, where did the time go? And if you want to know a little bit of trivia, it is because of Gilbert, Arizona, is one of the reasons I actually became a Jira admin. I was traveling for work at the time, and I had a solid month of travel, 1/4 of which was in Gilbert. To be fair, Aurora, Colorado shares half of that, so there are areas more guilty, but it was the point where I went, I need to find something new, and the Jira LIfe found me at that point. Since then, I have become a online community leader. I have become an Atlassian certified expert. And most recently, within the past 6 months, I have become a consultant for release team. But to be honest, that's not how most people know me. Most people know me as the Jira Guy. I run a small little blog at thejiraguy.com, and I have been doing so for about the past 4 years. Roll credits. I'm also, as I am here, co-host on the Jira LIfe podcast along with Alex. And I have been part of the Atlassian Creator Program since there was an Atlassian Creator Program. I may or may not have had a hand to play in that. And in spite of the picture I chose here, I promise I do not fight crime. You don't want me fighting crime. That's going to be bad outcomes all around. So I broke up this in a couple of different sections based off how Atlassian broke it up. And the first is just some kind of general announcements. Now, I've got a few things to say here before we get started. These are all my pictures I took from the keynote, and I do apologize about that. Not all of them are the greatest quality. It's what I have to work with. I have been begging Atlassian since Team 24 to give me these slides, and they have not yet. Considering it's been about a month, I'm not holding my breath. So this is what I have to work with, but this is the way it is with every team, so we do work with what we got. And also, for the most part, I tried to cut out a lot of the Atlassian is great slides. It's great to know they're doing well, it's great to know how they're doing, and there's some I do include in here, but most of them are superfluous to the point of tell me what's new and exciting. So I kind of cut them out to save time here because I already have 73 slides here. So we're going to go through this as quick as we can. Not quite that quick. Starting with the first big announcement. Last year, Team 23, Atlassian announced they had 250,000 customers. This year, they gave us an update, and it's now up to 300,000. Now, to be clear, we don't have access to how they generate those stats, exactly what counts as a customer. The Jira LIfe, we have an instance of Confluence and Jira. Do we count as a customer? We're only 3 people. So I really like to know how they count this number. but just doing the back of the envelope math, I did some guesswork, very loose guesswork, and I figured with 300,000 customers, there's probably about 750,000 Atlassian admins around the world, just like us here, many of whom this was not their first career choice. As we say in the Jira Life, we didn't choose the Jira Life chose us.
How many did you say?
750,000, rough guess.
At a minimum, it's gotta be one per customer.
So I have to give back that greatest Jira administrator month?
No, you don't.
No,
A lot of people got that one.
because you are the world's greatest Jira
That's a huge
administrator.
number, wow.
So I love seeing it, and I love seeing growth in this number because, again, this is more places, more opportunities we have to work. And that is always fantastic to hear. They also announced that over the past year, they have upgraded their top tier to where it can support 150K users per site, which is an ungodly number, right? There's only a few companies that have that kind of need. It was 50K. They tripled it on us during the conference. And again, I had problems seeing the company that would need 50K. I'd really love to meet the Jira admin who has to manage 150K in one site.
You know, one man, Andy's got a statistic that for every 2,000 users, you should have a Jira admin.
That's a good.
So if you have 150,000,
That's 75 Jira admins you should be having, which I don't want to manage that many Jira admins.
If we don't have 2,000 users, does that mean we cut our Jira admins apart?
I don't know. I'll leave that for the amputee community to figure out. All right, so they also announced that for data residency, they now have 11 countries that they could localize your data to. This number was 4 last year, so it's grown by 7. And for some of you out there, I know you were particularly interested in this graphic because for our guest in India, there's a particular country missing here who's really been needing some data residency. So yeah, India, I see you. It's still missing. I'm sure they're working on it. And again, going back to cloud, they are working on their certifications. Over the next year, they're going to be working on FedRAMP. They're going to be working on a whole bunch of other IRAP and C5. They're already HIPAA compliant, GDPR, FINMA, EBA, ISO. They've got a whole bunch of certifications under their belt. They're working on some more. And something that they didn't talk about here, but they did talk about a team toward government a couple of months earlier, is they actually have a very tentative, loosely tentative date of 2025 for FedRAMP moderate. Now, this involves the US government, who is famous for slipping deadlines. So maybe 2025.
another thing on the HIPAA, they dropped the enterprise requirement.
Yeah, they did.
That was pretty big because you needed to be on enterprise if you wanted to get HIPAA.
So let's talk about just Jira. And we'll get to that in just a moment, but first we really should talk about Atlas. Atlas is kind of this goal social media experiment Atlassian's been doing. And what they found out is a lot of people are just taking their Jira updates they're already putting in Jira and just copying that over to Atlas. Well, why? So Atlassian has made the decision to start rolling Atlas into Jira, so you're only entering this information into one place, considering you're already there, you're already entering it there, and kind of merging those features. That being said, that's not the only thing they've been merging. We all know Jira Work Management and Jira Software in Cloud. These are 2 great flavors of Jira. Jira Work Management is kind of the baby. It's the replacement to what was Jira Core. Jira Software, once upon a time Jira Agile, is kind of one of the old hats. Well, they're no more. they have been combined into just Jira. And that's really what I've been calling it, is just Jira. It is one product, and there's been many, many opinions about how this works out. I know, Alex, you have a very strong opinion about this.
Yeah, but I'm already on the blacklist of the Sanders thing.
No, I think you have to
Who's
share.
excited? Who's excited? Anyone care?
About just Jira?
Just Jira.
So
They could have gone the other way and started charging you separate.
They're gonna
it's
charge you more.
2/3.
They're charging you more.
But how many people just want it to be easier, and instead of having, 10 licenses of Jira Work Management and 50 licenses of Jira software, how many are just saying, well, just give me 60 licenses of Jira?
So I'm excited about this for this simple reason. I've been in this situation where I've been with a customer or a external customer, and I've already gone through the headache of explaining the difference between Jira Data Center and Jira Cloud, and getting them to make a freaking decision for Jira Cloud, and getting them excited about this and getting them all set up. And then it's like, well, what flavor of Jira? Do you need Jira software? Do you need Jira Work Management? What kind of work are you doing? Do you even need JSM? And this is a conversation that is happening over and over again. I know I'm not the only person having it. I see this as simplifying that conversation. Do you still need to work with your customers to figure out, hey, what kind of work are you doing? But we don't have to explain you need an entirely different flavor of Jira because of the work you're doing. You're like, okay, this is the kind of project we're setting up for you for this project. So that I'm excited about.
Who's excited for the redesign on the UI? Anybody else catch that? No? Maybe?
Give it 2 years, they're gonna bring it back, don't worry.
I don't like that it takes that right.
Now,
that right
one
name
of the
comes up.
crazy features, and this is using Atlassian Intelligence, they previewed there, is you get to have a epic, just your typical epic with an explanation of what you need. And Atlassian Intelligence actually go through and like, based off your work habits, these are the stories you need, and I'll generate those stories.
But that's where my problem is with the new Jira. That's not an epic. Or at least it doesn't have to be an epic. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Jira is not agile. Jira can be agile, but it's not exclusively agile.
Doesn't that make it more agile in a way?
Okay, we'll discuss the paradoxes at another time.
Come back for the July.
That's so many.
But still, I've had product manager and program managers at every job request the ability to auto-generate stories for their epics. And the fact that I'm not the one having to make this anymore makes my life easier. I imagine it's going to make a lot of German admins' life easier if it works as advertised. I am still skeptic about artificial intelligence in general working as advertised, but if it does what it's promised here, it can be an incredible time saver.
I gotta share with you, honestly, I've been joking a little bit, but my Agile coaches just set up a rule that says you shall not create automation that automatically creates stories or subtasks under certain conditions. They think it's wrong. Then I go to the team conference and they say, guess what we're doing? I can point the finger at Atlassian, but their thought was you should be explicitly saying what you're doing. So it was interesting that Atlassian went the other way.
I do use Atlassian Intelligence. I haven't used it for this purpose yet, but I do use it. But every time I do use it, I manually double check its work and usually end up editing something. And I think that is the right approach. So we'll leave this topic alone and we'll talk about Confluence. Now, who here uses Confluence? Please say everyone. Good answer, good answer. Confluence Whiteboard is getting some attention. last year's big announcement for Confluence was whiteboards. And one of the features they're adding this year is the ability to vote on cards. So you can put out a set of cards, say this is your stories you want to do or options you're looking at, and you could just collaboratively work on this whiteboard and vote and figure out which one of these are the favorite. Once you're done with that voting, you can take the answers that are among them and again, directly convert them into Jira tickets within whiteboard because it is whiteboard. Another thing they added to Confluence, you can't really see it too well in this picture, but if you look at the side, there's some new things that aren't normally there. You can now put smart links, not just in your Confluence pages, but in the menu. And this, for some teams, is going to be big because they don't exclusively work out of Confluence. So being able to have the different places they have information in the menu rather than on a page somewhere you have to find is going to be a big thing. And this is actually a little bit close zoomed up on that, where they go into the different things you could put in there.
When do you think they're gonna get rid of blogs? Have you ever used a blog?
Yes, actually, I have.
How many?
It was right before I started the Jira Guy. It's what led the Jira Guy to become one of my PIs where I first bought the domain.
Does anybody use the blog capability of Confluence?
Atlassian uses it extensively internally.
That's probably why it's there then. I've never.
Which means you have your answer.
But in all of the Jiras and Confluence that in all the Confluence that I touch, never have I ever seen a blog.
I have seen, and I'll out them a little bit because they're going through enough turmoil, they need to be good. I have seen VMware use it for internal announcements.
Sajid says, a lot of people use blogs. I see their usage increasing now with Loom, which probably leads into one of the next things to talk about.
Are you gonna talk about Loom?
Actually, I think I was. No, actually, I'm going to talk about something else, but Loom is going to come up.
Okay.
I
I like it.
But no, blogs are sticking around. They do have their uses. I love them personally for like education pieces for users.
Maybe it doesn't have to be the second thing on there.
Maybe. So what do we have here? Well, last year we realized that a lot of companies out here use Confluence as their infra-site page or intranet page. This is the page when people need help or just start out the company or whatever. This is basically go to kind of be their front page for the internal company. So Atlassian made that process easier by allowing you to define a page in Confluence as your intranet page. And this is kind of what they're showing here with some marketing updates and some of the information here. This is for their sample company, the intranet page. And of course, we can't get away. Atlassian intelligence was throughout this keynote. There was not a single product they talked about where they didn't talk about what Atlassian intelligence is doing.
And a large majority of the classes were about AI too.
Yeah.
It was a big theme.
You can't spell Atlassian without AI.
Yeah.
At least according to Mike.
Yep. So they've been expanding on it and they delivered a great many features that they promised last year.
So there's a question from Sajid. I'm not sure if this is dealing with AI and Confluence. Does this hurt app vendors who are basically promoting Confluence as hubs?
Oh, he's talking about the intranet, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the
I
internet.
was gonna ask you the same thing about like Mantra and a couple of others.
Mantra and Refined and
Cosmos
Cosmos.
from yeah.
I mean, yes, but also this has been Atlassian's MO since 2018, so not really surprised. I mean, back in Data Center, they did it to resolution when they introduced SAML sign-on directly in Jira Data Center. So, you know, kind of par for the course at this point. I hate to say that. I have a great many friends within the Atlassian ecosystem who work in the marketplace, but it's one of those things where you do a little too good, Atlassian's going to notice that features is lacking. They're going to build it into the product.
But it's good to have options.
Yeah, it is good to have options. And for resolution's sake, I still prefer for Data Center, their SAML sign-on to the built-in SAML sign-on. Okay, so now we get to the big news. How many people have hated Confluence Search?
My favorite feature.
You are a sadist. It's been terrible for years. One of Atlassian's oldest bugs is from the upgrade to Confluence 4, where they started doing some indexing, and it's saying, please take this away. Search is now terrible. And it has been that way. Confluence 4, 5, 6, 7. They're about to release Confluence 9 in a couple of months. And Confluence Search has always been terrible as long as I've been a Jira admin. And they finally heard us. And they are bringing improvements to Confluence Search. Now, the big problem with Confluence Search is noise. Basically, for any keyword you want to turn, you're going to get any reference to that keyword. And it's not going to be sorted by relevance. It's going to be sorted by what's the first one we found. So you're going to get all this noise, and you're not going to be able to find what you want. So they're fixing it, and they're using Atlassian Intelligence, and specifically the Atlassian Platform Semantic Index, which we'll talk about in more detail later when we talk about the Atlassian Platform updates, to talk about, or to kind of figure out, what does this person mean when they're looking up this term, and kind of get you a more relevant page quickly. If it works the way it does on a 10, the advertising, this is going to be great. We have needed this for years. I am glad this is going to be coming. But a word of caution, that's not the only thing you're going to be searching for anymore. They're going to be adding the full suite of Atlassian cloud products to this search. So you're going to get results not only from Confluence, but if you have it selected, Jira Software, Trello, Bitbucket, OpsGenie, Compass, Loom. This concerns me. And again, this is sight unseen. I have not tested this feature myself yet. I am interested in it. Atlassian knows I am interested in it, but they have not granted me access to it just yet because it is still being worked on. But my fear is, okay, great, Atlassian, you took away all the noise, you gave us relevant results, and then you put all the noise back in with all these extra results.
You know why they did it though, right? But then Robo will do it for you.
We're going to get to that. You're spoiling things.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just saying, Atlassian's thinking ahead.
You're spoiling things that's been spoiled for a month, so I have no reason to complain, but I'm still going to complain. So, as said, this is an interesting development. I am super excited about a new search paradigm in Confluence if it works as advertised. As they always say, proof is in the pudding, and I really want to see it first before I make a judgment on it, but I do have concerns out of the box. So, Sajid mentioned this, Loom, the new kid. Loom is an acquisition Atlassian made this year. And the first thing they did when they talk about Loom is trying to explain why Loom. So, at Atlassian Creators, we've been trying to get a hold of this for a while because it sounds like an amazing tool for basic content creation. But what it basically is Zoom is similar to Loom. And in fact, there's some conversation like, why purchase Loom when everyone already has Zoom or some equivalent, Microsoft Teams, something for their remote conferencing needs? Well, Loom is very similar to Zoom that it is video based, but Atlassian is positioning it that is asynchronous video. Now, I like this idea.
You should talk to your boss.
But I don't think that's the real power of Loom. I've had problems in company after company with people feeling Confluence is the best place to upload video files. And whether you're in cloud or on a DC instance, you're going to have the same problem with people uploading cloud is you're going to run out of space sooner than later because these are not small files and there are many of them. So I think Loom might be the answer I've been praying for stop uploading videos on my Confluence instance. That being said, Atlassian claims they have eliminated nearly 500,000 meetings with Loom since they purchased it. This is a great number. I'd love this number if I knew how it's generated. Again, with the with any stats they say, I'm like, okay, how did you figure this out exactly? Because I cannot figure out, for the life of me, how you would get this number. Do you have a statistician that probably figured this out? Yes, I would love to know their method behind it. And that's why I remove a lot of the Atlassian disgrace slides. Is I don't know how they're getting these numbers, and that frustrates me as a math geek. Loom itself is not immune to Atlassian intelligence. These demonstrate several AI features within Loom. One is the ability to take a Loom video and convert it into a document. In this case, the example they gave is a person describing an ideal candidate and turning that into a job description. Again, if this works as advertised, this is going to be a great time saver because, especially for me, it's much quicker to talk something out or record a video on something and just repeat my thoughts than it is trying to type it out and edit it and do all this thing I'm trying to do to make it look presentable at the same time. So I do like this idea, but as with anything AI, I want to see it. I want to play with it.
Hey, maybe you could do your blog post like that now.
That would be very nice,
You
actually.
just record yourself and then.
Actually, WordPress does not play well with Confluence, so I have to pretty much rewrite it anyways if I did that, but it's a great idea. They're also going to add variables to your Loom videos. Basically, this is allowing you to enter things, both an email associated with it and audio files with it, so you can personalize Loom videos to the recipient. I like this concept, but I have serious doubts about how it scales. I'm like, yeah, this is great for 10 people. What happens when you send this to 2 million people?
You missed out the best Loom update though.
Did I?
I think so, unless I'm looking at your notes correctly.
Well, do illuminate us.
Yeah, give the
Yeah,
spoilers,
my
man.
favorite feature that they announced was that you'll be able to create like a video screen recording a bug in your software.
And that's coming later.
Is it? Did you? Well, why wouldn't it be tied in the Loom section?
Because the last thing they put it in the Loom section.
Yeah, they did.
No, they did not. I have the
Anyways,
pictures.
little spoilers is really cool.
Let it be known, Alex is the one who told you that Vader is Luke's father.
I did not say anything.
What? You like spoilers?
And that Roadrunners are real.
No,
You knew that's going to come up.
We did see a puff of smoke or a dust out far in the desert, and I'm like, look, a Tasmanian devil.
Actually, those are called dust devils. So we're going to do a couple of quick fire announcements. The first one is Atlassian University is now free. They have done a lot of work. They've actually had the Atlassian. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. You made that happen.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's all me. No, seriously. The Atlassian University team has been doing a lot of work over the past month. They've actually had the learning site shut down while they reorganized things and made them more accessible for a free tier, just so they can give us learning free. I like to think there's some pressure, hashtag Atlassian creators, for them to do this, but this is great because now I can intersperse if I'm doing a training program within a company, I can intersperse training I've provided with stuff from the Atlassian University. And like, okay, this is the course you need to get started. Here's the basics. I'm not creating everything from scratch anymore. So I really like that this is free. Another quick announcement, and I've double checked every picture I had of this. I went through, they didn't really provide any details about this, but Jira Product Discovery is the latest flavor of Jira. It is targeted towards program and project managers. This was a program and product managers.
I have trust. I'm just here to correct you.
Yes, yes, you are. One thing they announced is this is getting a premium edition. Now, they did not provide any details on, and Alex, please correct me if I'm misremembering this.
I'm just wondering why people even go to the standard, because the free does pretty much everything.
But it's free?
There's a free version for, I think, 3 users.
Yeah, and that's why they go to standards.
That's the
Yeah,
problem
three
with
there.
creators.
You get 3 creators, but the contributors can do everything the creator can do except for create a brand new project.
There's a few small little
Like
things
what?
they can't do. There's some fields that they can't do after creation, if I remember right.
Still, I don't.
There were a lot of, maybe it's an update, because there were a lot of things we couldn't.
Go
Going
look
back
at the
to
pricing list.
Going back to the keynote, they didn't really explain what made it premium, what new features were coming, anything like that. You just said, hey, this is going to be a thing, more details later. That's very frustrating. Why are you even mentioning it?
I would hope though that they bring on things like something closer to being a worthy competitor to like AHA. Because as it stands right now, the AHA team is not ready to jump over.
So next thing they talked about is development. Normally this would be the Jira software section, but as we know, it's now all just Jira. So the first thing, and Alex has already spoiled this, thank you, is you can now take a Loom video. Not only can you make a Confluence document out of it, but you can take that Confluence video or that Loom video and make it into a bug. I used to work for a very large game company. I will not name them on a public broadcast because I know from experience they are very litigious. But if you want to figure out who, it's on my LinkedIn profile. And this was their process. They would take a video, upload it to Confluence, and then write a bug from it pointing back to the Confluence page. So again, this is that workflow automated. And this I'm really excited about. I definitely see use for it. Obviously, Alex is excited about it.
It's my favorite feature. I'm going to use it every day.
Because he wants to spoil us.
Let's point out that this is not new. We had Jira Capture back in the days of Jira 4.
Yes, but how long did Jira Capture stay around?
Not long enough.
We had Jira Capture on my first Jira instance in 2014. I think it lasted through one upgrade.
So question from Sean. Did they announce Loom was available in our Atlassian organizations?
It is not yet. We'll get to that. They did add some information to the Atlassian admin, but Loom was not one of them yet. They also, in Compass now, they've also did some work to kind of optimize this, and they added some graphs that let you know how a project is coming along. And then the graphs here, actually, they have some great scorecards for you. They're automatically generated. This one, again, I'm sorry for the image quality. As I mentioned earlier, this was me trying to take pictures as fast as I can and still capture something, but service readiness, unit test coverage, security vulnerabilities. Trying to capture these in a dashboard without having 5 million subtasks was insane. So having something that kind of generates this from the data that's not only in Jira, but also in your code repositories and your testing systems is a nice touch. They also let you graph your activity, not only your alerts, but your deployments, incidents, your feature flags going live. Kind of map this all on a calendar so you can see, hey, when we did this deployment, everything crashed. You can kind of see cause and effect here, kind of understand what's happening with your code as it's being deployed and as you're updating it. The biggest announcement, though, for Compass is, and this broke literally the weekend before Team as we were all flying out, Atlassian purchased a company called Optic. Optic is kind of one part documentation system, one part Postman test system for APIs. It's really meant to give you good coverage of your APIs, see what APIs you have, what do they do, and are they working? And this capability is being added to Compass to kind of beef up their API coverage. So this was really exciting. If you ever tried to work with APIs and tracking them in Compass, it's some of a headache. I'm not going to say it may have led to a cloud outage for some customers in 22, but it might have. They could definitely document those APIs a little better. He laughed because he was one of them.
And was impacted.
So that was Compass and that was developers. Now moving on to Jira Service Management. And we are halfway done, I promise people. I'm feeling it too. So, too many clicks there. So one of the big things they added to service management or intend to add is the ability to bring in your alerts into the system. So you can see what's happening with the alerts and who's on call and who responded and all this within the same system that you're taking your tickets in with. I love single panes of glass. I love single source of truth. So I do like this in concept. I don't really have too much to say on this other than it's interesting they're bringing all the single pane into JSM, but I do kind of see the logic there.
You got to mention that Opsgenie's dead. Ish. Why not?
I don't have to mention it.
Implied?
It's implied. Again, just Jira.
Do you have anything on the unified profiles before I spoil any spoilers?
The unified profiles for
The users on community.atlassian.com.
no, that was done during the community day. This is the keynote.
I know, but it's still worthy of.
I'll make a special note of it at the end for you.
Thank you. Don't want to spoil anything. I already got in trouble 5 times.
And I would expect no less from you. This is what you bring.
I'm here to ground you.
So another thing they're bringing to JSM is alert remediation using Atlassian automation. This is definitely bringing in a lot of power. This is kind of expanding on the fact that last year, the big thing with automation is they didn't want to just automate things in Jira, but any tool connected to Jira. So this it gives you the ability to kind of auto remediate stuff. And then if this doesn't work for whatever remediation, allow you to bring in a person. I think this is the Jira version of, hey, before you call someone on alert, try restarting the service yourself first. So I like this. I have implemented this in some other tools. This is the first time I'm seeing it in Atlassian automation, but it is a sound concept. I do like it. And Atlassian is continuing to make improvements to virtual agents. Last year, virtual agents, on top of allowing automatically interacting with your customers, one of the big things they announced is it could allow you to change the tone of an agent-generated response. Someone types in something, it's early morning, they haven't had their coffee yet. They have the ability to say, okay, this sounds kind of harsh. Atlassian Intelligence, make it sound nice for me. We've all been there. We've all responded to those tickets.
Can you do it after it's session?
You do it the other way. You do it. But now you can do one better where you're like, I don't even feel like typing this. I know I'm grumpy. Atlassian Intelligence, please type the response for me. So they definitely added some capability with auto-generating the agent response on command.
Is there a way to turn up the level of snark?
This is where you're prompting. This is where you work on your prompting. Say, generate me a response. I need at least 9 levels of snark. I say this like I didn't write quick tips for Atlassian Intelligence all day. Another feature they announced involving Atlassian Intelligence, and I am sorry for the potato quality on this image. I saw this for the first time on a projector and I went, oh, and I still haven't been able to fix it. But one thing they did is Atlassian Intelligence can now look at your queues and your usage and suggest queues for you. In this case, I know you can't see it, but the top one says EU request, the bottom one says US request. They're like, hey, all your EU agents are only handling requests from the EU, same for the US. Why don't you separate them into queues? This feels creepy to me.
Atlassian's always watching though.
Yes, Atlassian Intelligence is always watching. That's why it feels creepy. I do get it, and this is something where Atlassian Intelligence might be able to help a new company who's not really familiar with JSM recognize what queues they might be able to use. But for an established team who already knows JSM, this feels really creepy. Another big announcement is JSM Instant Service Desk. Kind of what this is they're taking the concept behind the templates from Jira Work Management, just Jira, and applying it to JSM Service Desk. But this one goes a step further. They ask you some basic information and then use Atlassian Intelligence to generate the request types based on that. This, again, helps those companies that are new to JSM get up and running quickly. The funny thing is, the very morning they announced this feature, the Atlassian community held a JSM race to see who could set up a full portal the fastest. So it's like, hey, who could do this fastest? Now it's kind of irrelevant. So the Atlassian platform. If you're not familiar with the Atlassian platform, that is actually somewhat understandable, but it's kind of the base system that powers Confluence, JSM, Jira, JPD, and all the other systems that run in Atlassian Cloud. So what's new with it? Well, per Sean's request, again, spoiling things, they added the ability to administer Trello and Bitbucket in Atlassian administration. Now, I guess they did add Bloom, but they didn't mention it. So yes, Sean, you can manage it within an organization. But now, I know this has been a problem with some organizations where they're trying to manage Trello, but they have to go to Trello itself to manage it. Trying to manage Bitbucket, but they have to go there. And then you still have to go to admin to manage Jira, Confluence, Compass, all the other tools. So bringing those into the fold definitely helps give you that single pane to understand what's happening within your organization. Another big announcement is around Access and Beacon. Now, Access is Atlassian Cloud's identity provider solution. It allows you to connect to various identity providers like Okta,
Azure AD, Gmail as well, I think.
Yeah, it does do Google. And not only bring those users into your Atlassian Cloud and auto provision them, but also handle the authentication part through SAML SSO. It also allows you to specify your policies around two-factor authentication, whether it's needed, how does it happen, all that. Atlassian Beacon is in there looking at your logins and saying, does this login make sense? Is Rodney, who lives in Atlanta, supposed to be logging in from North Korea at midnight? No, maybe we want to look into that. Someone at Atlassian kind of connected two brain cells here and went, these are kind of similar. They're kind of doing the same thing. They're all around access and security. Why are they two separate products? So now they're not. Introducing Atlassian Guard, this is kind of the next generation access, but it is bringing in those features from Beacon, allowing you to monitor for suspicious activity on all your Atlassian Cloud instances. And much like JPD, it is going to come in two flavors, except they told us why it's two flavors this time. Standard kind of gives you, for the most part, some of the same capabilities we already have in Access. Premium extends them out a little bit.
But they didn't tell us the price.
No, they did not. That is a very key point. They did not tell us the price here of what these two are going to be yet. Technically, these are not available. This is a upcoming plan, but we have already started to see some effects on Access with people asking, like, when is it going to be Guard?
And the biggest thing that's missing there is enterprise. Because access,
This means it's included.
I know, hopefully, right? Right there with me. I don't want to pay more.
No, I know you don't.
I would think that, okay, so this is more hope than faith, right? With, in pre-Guard, right, Atlassian Access was basically bundled in. I think with Guard, at least with Enterprise, I would hope that it's going to be Guard bundled at the premium level.
I hope.
That's kind of where I foresee things going, but I can see just the opposite where even at
it's
Enterprise,
status
you
quo.
still have to pay more for the premium. It's bundled at the Standard.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But not on the slides.
No. So another thing Atlassian really promoted is their semantic index. This is part of their teamwork graph, which is what Atlassian calls their data layer. The layer that stores all the information about your Confluence pages, your Jira issues, anything in Confluence. It's all stored within what they call the teamwork graph. And the addition to it here is semantic index, which is allowing them to power a lot of capabilities. This is what is powering the search in Confluence. It's going to power something we're going to talk about here in a few slides. Alex's new favorite.
Spoiling anything.
Well, you already have
I
earlier.
left the keynote, so I'm learning this for the first time.
Really?
Yeah. At a panel.
You didn't watch it on YouTube?
I don't have time. I don't even watch my own videos.
I watch your videos for you, okay?
Same here.
Thank you.
Somebody's got to keep those YouTube numbers up, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
we get into monetization.
So they made a big deal about Semantic Engine, and if it works as advertised, allowing you to figure out not only what people mean by words, but the context around what they mean by words, it has the potential to have a huge impact.
I think it's kind of their big filter against AI hallucinations.
I think it does a little bit of that too, but I think it's more context sensitivity.
Yeah.
And again, because AI suffused everything within it, they talked about Atlassian Intelligence and the fact that over the entire platform, they have rolled out 50 plus new features within the Atlassian cloud ecosystem, which is a massive amount.
Just real quickly, how many of you are Jira admins? How many of you like freak out when you see 50 plus new features and 50 plus new headaches from end users? Okay, at least I'm not the only one.
So,
And 50 people asking for it to be turned on tomorrow.
And
another 50 people asking it never to be turned on.
And one of them is a CISO in one way.
Mhm.
I've had that.
So we all know, let's talk about automation. We all know it has been one of Atlassian's biggest features. In fact, I ended up having a panel about automation in Atlassian Cloud with Daryl Lee, Dan Toombs, and Tyler from AppFire. Now, Atlassian for most tiers announced earlier this year that they're going to cap the number of executions you can have on
Per month.
per month on it. Well, we kind of found out why, because if you're running 1 billion automations per month, someone's got to pay that bill. So I saw this number, I'm like, that's why they capped it.
Has anybody restricted who can create automation within their companies?
No one.
One person? I have mine restricted.
Add
Total-
only, admin
total.
only.
Shut down.
All right.
And they've reduced that a lot if you could scope off of more than just project.
Great.
Yeah.
Have they, from the keyword or label side, have they restricted that, or is that still a wild, wild west?
I don't know. I don't know that I've seen. All I know is that you can restrict to a specific group so that specific people in a group can execute automation rules, but
No, no, just the label, that's another thing. You can't restrict who can set up labels.
oh, so
No, that's
Because
still
you've
Wild
got like
West.
team and teams and they're different. And
But what they did correct was the casing,
what's that?
uppercase and lowercase. It's now the same rule or the same label.
I just want to lock it down, lock it out. You know?
Take it off your screens. Nobody will ever see it.
So
Well.
for those who
you
are,
fix the search problem.
for those who can still create automations, which I understand why you limit it, they are making it a little bit easier, a little bit trend friendly, by allowing the same thing they did with JQL earlier this year, where you could type in plain English and it'll do the JQL query for you. They're doing the same thing with automation where you type in something simple and it would create an automation for you.
And I use this every day.
I use that today. It's actually pretty cool. Nice.
Another thing they're
You little
doing,
drunk on this one, or what happened here?
a little bit. Someone bumped into me right as I was taking it, and I tried to retake it. They were flying through this section. But still, nothing they're doing for this one is automation, is recommending rules for your team based on how you're using the product.
I like how it's like recommended, give us more money rules page.
You don't have enough automations running. We got to pay for this stuff somehow. Could you just consider a few more? This, again, feels a little big brothery to me. Same thing with JSM recommended queues, where it's watching you to figure out how you work and then it's recommending stuff. Could it be buildable? Yeah. Could it be helpful? Yeah. Is it always watching you? That's the thing to consider here.
As long as it's not sending an email to my boss.
Just don't go to Windows 11. Get the whole video.
So Atlassian Analytics, to be fair, analytics is not my specialty. I, like Alex, do not have a PhD in this.
I don't have a PhD. I think you need 10 of them to just use the thing.
But one thing they do know is they're allowing the data lake to export data to other tools and analysis, such as Tableau, Power BI, and more to use as a source. One of the big headaches I've heard from some organizations, especially those that love Tableau, is we can't go to the cloud because we don't have access to the database and we need access to the database for Tableau. This kind of removes that excuse for them. And this did get a cheer when it was announced.
They removed an excuse, but it adds a much, much higher bill.
Again,
Enterprise only feature.
that it is. They're also having Atlassian Intelligence kind of generate and recommend graphs based off the data. And not only are they recommending the graphs, they're going through and kind of explaining what you're seeing and what it might mean. This one I don't feel as big brothery, but that's probably because I just don't know analytics well enough. I can see where it could be, but it's also, I don't know how to do this, so if it's doing it for me, I don't have to know.
Anybody use analytics?
Not these.
We're starting to, we have 2 teams that are piloting in our
Yeah.
right now. So far, it's looking good.
You got part of the. I had Atlassian on the phone with me. We couldn't figure it out.
So this brings me to the last section. Hello. Rovo. Rovo was the big announcement. Last year it was Atlassian Intelligence. This year it was Rovo.
I
It is.
spoiled that one for you, Rodney, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't.
I said it during my talk.
Yeah, but I don't mind when you do it.
It's only when I.
You were a teaser.
You were a teaser.
Oh,
Alex
spoiler.
is spoiler. And to be clear, half of it is just to heckle Alex because he is so fun when he gets flustered. So, what is Rovo? Rovo is a tool that kind of encapsulates 3 different areas of concept. It is your search, your knowledge, and your action. So for search, we mentioned earlier how Confluence, now they're fixing search and they're allowing you to search more. Well, that's all powered by Rovo. And the fact is, they're not only allowing you to search everything in your Atlassian cloud, they're allowing you to search everything internally. Your Google Documents, Figma, GitHub, SharePoint, any source of data within your organization can be indexed and searched. This kind of reminds me of the old days when Google had an appliance you could bring into your organization, plug in, and it's an internal search index for you. It's no longer provided. If you get hold of one of the old servers, though, they make really great servers. The old 720 platform.
Stay on topic, buddy.
Sorry, I'm a home labber, and they're awesome. But this kind of reminds me of that kind of feature here. Again, I bring up the same concern about noise. If the noise just within your entire cloud was bad, how is it when you expand it to everything in your organization? Again, Atlassian says the semantic index kind of cuts through that noise and brings you context-aware search results. And the examples they show tend to say that, but I still have my doubts.
But it's so much more than search.
That it is. You could take a search. This case, someone asked, what is Blueberry project? And it goes, Blueberry is a project that has these people working on it. They're trying to do this. And it brings you all that context-aware information here. And the thing is, looking on, it's very context-aware. When I think PPG, I'm thinking personal protective gear. I'm not thinking anything about payments.
Isn't there a paint brand too?
They are.
That's worth patent class.
But it's bringing context where they understand the person searching for this is working in payments. So they're not going to be interested in gloves and masks. They're going to be interested in payment gateway. So that is how they claim it cuts through the noise. And it does allow you to ask more detailed questions. Not only what is Blueberry, but who's working on it? Well, it's the Wombat team. These are the people. This is the information about them, their goals, links, stuff that would have been in Atlas, now in Jira. And the thing is, you can continue the conversation. Like, okay, we got this. Who's the project owner? Or you can ask your own question. It allows you to kind of dig in. And it's not just a dedicated page. You could start out on a Confluence page, bring up the chat console for Rovo, and start digging in. And it'll keep all that on the sidebar for you as you're looking at the Confluence page. However, my favorite feature of Rovo is the agents. The thing to understand about artificial intelligence as it exists now is very, very good at very specific tasks. Don't ask it to do just anything, but if you ask it to do just one thing, it can learn to do that one thing really, really well. And Atlassian is really leveraging that with the Rovo agent. And there have already built-in agents for a ton of different things. Now, the thing I want to point out here is, yeah, we've got different things, but we also have add-on companies. We got Appfire, Deezer, Siebert, K15T. Agents are not going to just be able to action items within the Atlassian Cloud itself, but any add-on related to your Atlassian Cloud. one example they gave is a comms crafter, where they had an agent whose only job was to look at proposed comm and make it match the brand standard. Again, a very specific task. So they gave an example of it here where they have a Confluence document someone is editing. They highlighted a section, they activated the agent, is going to go in and they have several actions they could take, predefined actions. And I apparently don't have part 2 of that. They click on it and it changes it. They change Vita Fleet logistic ops to be the proper casing. They change some of the wording and punctuation here to make it fit the brand standard. Again, a very specific task. Atlassian says that for robo agents, you don't have to be a CS major and have all this programming experience to be able to create them. You can create them from a Confluence page.
Yeah, they were just saying they're going to be putting out a lot of documentation for just about anybody from any skill set and any level of comfort to be successful with the robo agent. So I think it'll be closer to like automation rules and just the new AI stuff they're doing there. It's supposed to be something that anybody can use, unlike analytics that requires 1,000 PhDs.
Now, another feature in Jira they showed for the robo agent is feature flag cleanup. This goes in from your story where you have to clean up a feature flag. You activate the agent, it goes through, it finds the repository related to this Jira project. It looks up the feature flag, it creates the commit to remove it, and then it submits it through testing and then generates a PR for you to approve. It does not make any permanent changes to your code base without a human first reviewing it, but it does do a lot of steps. And the big thing about this during the demo is it was doing this on the side as you were working on something else and just pinged you when it was done and ready for your approval. This is a heck of a task. And being able to automate this, again, a very specific request, but it can learn to do it really well.
And it's worth pointing out that Jensen from Atlassian, she told us that with all the AI stuff, specifically with all the robo stuff, it's not just going to do things for you, it's still going to keep you in the loop. So it's still going to ask you like, yay, does this look good? Like, do you agree? And if you don't, then you can try again, right? But you're still going to have some control over the recommendations or the decisions that it does.
It's not Skynet yet, but it's asking your permission. Can I do this? Does the result look good? Can I proceed? The last thing I'm going to say, actually I had to steal this from someone, is Team 25 was announced. It is going to be next year, April 8th through 10th in Anaheim, California. That is important because our friend here
in Anaheim, California.
So you can definitely come visit Alex. We already talked about what our plans are for next year, but team events, I've been to 4 of them in person, a number of them online, obviously, just like everyone else through the pandemic. It is a great event. It is a fun time. It is such an awesome network opportunity to meet people you only ever interact with online. So if you ever do get the opportunity to go, do not hesitate to take that opportunity.
And don't make this mistake to show up on the 8th and leave on the 10th.
Definitely plan extra days.
A lot of people do that. We have something called the mouse that's very close by. And you didn't give my honorable mention.
I did not.
Can I do it?
Of course you can.
So if you've ever been to the community.atlassian.com or anywhere where you ask questions, right? You may be like me and I have like 50 Atlassian IDs. Well, they're unifying that whole experience. So now as you answer questions in one profile or another, or you're getting badges in one profile and you don't have it in another one, they're just going to make this really cool unified experience. They're just going to be just you with all your stuff. And they're really gamifying the whole thing. It's going to be really cool to like compete and show off your earnings and like all the different collections of badges and stuff that you are getting through the Atlassian community. So I thought that was kind of cool that all is going to get unified and really cool experience that they're doing.
You mean like if you log in with different emails?
Yeah,
Because
like if you have your work email
Yeah,
and your personal email, it'll just be,
how many people,
I think,
Yeah.
how many people have accidentally logged into Atlassian Community and surprised you got a new ID?
Yep, it happens.
Or lost everything I had voted on and saved?
right, so it's all just gonna be one profile now.
So, our Juramigo, Andy Gladstone, he has some commentary on that. He says that,
You still awake?
he's still awake. He wants to be in the running for the raffle. So you on the virtual side, stay on. We're gonna start doing the raffle
Very
momentarily. He says that this is a long time away, not really ready for public consumption. Still next generation platform. It's about 6 months until beta.
Upcoming.
So Andy Gladstone, for
To
the,
be fair, anything that Rodney just announced is 6 to 12 months away.
this is true.
Probably.
Atlassian does not do, and this is available today, that is not their style.
The last hour and a half of your life could have been.
In fact,
6 to 12 months away.
T23, you were upset about that, weren't you?
I love the whiteboards in the databases, and that's something to come out, and AI didn't really come out until like February of this year. It was announced in April of last year.
So if we don't have any other questions, I think we're ready to move on to the raffles.
Yeah. Do we want to do virtual first?
I think we should do virtual first.
We should do virtual first. I need you to help me figure out, or how do we get like how many people that we have? Like, is there a way of doing like a live?
This is why we need Nightbot.
Tell them to put in a number, you'll see their response. Tell them
So-
to comment in this chat.
So those
You
of
wanna be
you
in.
that are still hanging on LinkedIn events or on YouTube, please just enter in a quick comment, wave hello,
Say hi.
and then we will put you down.
Got a whiteboard. Could do a Copland whiteboard.
Good.
I need my submission for the content creators.
And also, while they're doing that, if anybody in person did not check in with Alex over there, please do that now so we have at least that ready to go.
And if anybody has any questions about all the stuff that we talked about, I know we had a little sidebar conversation, but anybody have questions?
Is the whiteboard feature, is that extra? I mean, I've just never seen it.
So you get 3 whiteboards per account on free and standard, and then unlimited on premium and enterprise.
Okay.
But it is built in, I think, for everybody.
It's within Confluence, it's not a separate.
Now, when you go to create, now it has 3 options there instead of just
Technically like
page.
5 now.
Yeah, if you're on premium, you
Yeah,
get the
get a
databases
bunch of
too.
them, yeah.
You get the smart links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You get all that
database,
stuff now.
but it's in there. When you go to create, it should drop down and it should show you that. And it should say whiteboard instead of page. Page is still there.
It says
but then it'll
page,
say-
it says blog.
So
whiteboard.
Sean Doyle from online actually says that admin has to activate it,
There
so,
we go.
Good. Thank you.
You got a whiteboard?
yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was just a beta.
Confluence whiteboard.
I
They
think
were
it's
on.
still you have to turn it on.
Is it?
Turn it on.
Same with databases.
I don't remember turning it in.
Thanks, Michael.
Somebody did it for you.
There is no one, yeah.
Don't turn it off now. I'm using it.
So as far as as far as virtual, the only ones I'm seeing are Sean, Andy, and me, Steve-O.
Ooh, how many are on? You got 14 people on, you're only getting 3 responses?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I'm not sure.
Again, if you're online and you're watching,
I think we're
Please
streaming
put
at the
something
wrong
in chat.
time. This is a record for live streams.
Well, some of us are being probably counted in there. Like I'm in there.
Josh is in there.
Josh is in there, so.
Why are you always in there?
well, if you're watching a YouTube video or LinkedIn, it's showing up. So like, I'm in
It's
StreamYard.
boo-boo, Sean, it's boo-boo. I have a love-hate
Sean's
relationship
asking
with
if
that
he
name
was
Boo-Boo.
on, so.
I'm showing it on screen. So Inception.
And for that matter, since databases and whiteboards and AI also needs to be turned on by your admin.
That one automatically turned
Yeah.
on. You had to go in and turn that one off.
Yeah.
I got lucky to turn it off.
They
Yeah,
need that data for
that was
AI.
as of
Yeah.
like last week, right?
Yeah. Well, sometime in the last month because they did the normal rolling schedule.
Okay, because I got an email like on the 20th that it was on now.
They usually
Go
do
in
all
and
the
turn it
free-
off if you don't want AI.
So are we ready for raffles?
Any other questions?
I'm out. Probably gonna take it.
You got the Jira guy in front of you and his accomplice, and the accomplice is accomplice.
Hey, I'm not award winning. There's only one award winning Atlassian creator.
I don't even know how that happened.
You know how it happened.
We all know how it happened. Well, at least the leaders do.
600 videos later. It was quite funny.
I don't want you to get too big ahead. I still want you to fit in your Tesla, but you did work for it.
Some say.
Um,
I want awkward silence.
So
Keep the room alive.
how many of the gift cards are we
Got
giving?
3 gift cards for online.
3 gift cards.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So Sean Doyle,
Andy.
Steve-O, Andy, online Andy, we will be getting at home to all of you soon to get you those gift cards.
So
I think me, Steve, was the only one we don't have.
yeah, we don't have a private, like,
Send us connect with us on LinkedIn. Send us a DM if you're me, Steve. Tell us something only you would know.
Make sure AI is not turned on. for
Question
that.
on the semantic search in Confluence. Is it also powered by Rovo? Like within the Confluence, can I search on Google Drive and others, or do I need to go to a different interface? in
The
order to
search in Confluence was them previewing Rovo without actually previewing Rovo. So
Yeah.
that is powered by Rovo.
So that means within Confluence page, I can search from contents in SharePoint and Google Drive, or do I need to?
That's what they claim for a fee. That wasn't also included in the slides. It should be noted, Rovo will be an additional product that you do have to
We've seen some preliminary fees. It's not.
Hopefully Enterprise gets it free, right? My Enterprise bill is actually gonna be like 2x.
Right.
Now you know how DC feels.
For everybody on DC, sorry you don't get anything cool.
okay, we've got our virtual winners lineup. So Andy Gladstone, congratulations. Sean Doyle, congratulations. And Stephen Hayden, congratulations. You are virtual
Winners.
You are virtual winners. Or you're winners of virtual gift cards. We'll send them to.
Yeah.
Do we have to?
I'll need their email addresses and then I can send them.
Okay, so at this point we can do
The in-person
live and
stuff.
in person.
Cool.
Do we
All right.
wanna leave the stream go? Or just keep it running? I think we should just keep it running, because folks, we're trying to get a 4,000 watch hours. If you haven't seen the Jira LIfe,
Just go in, put it on a tab.
let it
Don't
run.
use the video, use the tab, and just let it run on loop.
We have
Do you have a playlist of everything? So
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
We have a everything playlist.
Has anybody not watched the Jira LIfe real quick? Just a little quick shout out since we're here. Okay, so the Jira LIfe is this pretty cool community. We obviously have our shirts on. Our producer, Rodney, and then my name's Alex, the other Alex. And so yeah, so we have a live stream every single Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, except for today. This is our one little anomaly day. But we typically interview folks from the Atlassian ecosystem. We have Josh next week. A couple weeks ago, we had Jensen, who is on the Robo team. Last year, we had employee number 13. So he gives a bunch of insights and history of being there, like on the ground floor when Atlassian and Confluence and Jira and everything was coming to be. And
He made the first iteration of Atlassian Cloud.
yeah, so we have a couple of high-profile individuals within Atlassian that are on our hit list. We've gotten verbal confirmation that they want to come on. So definitely, it's an interesting place. As you can see, we have 14 people on right now, and it's just people just like you, right? We get together, we banter, Mainly me picking on me, as you saw here.
Oh, it goes both ways. Don't even pretend.
So if you enjoyed this, get it every single week.
By the way, the question of the week for Alex is, say, Alex, where's your passport?
I don't need a passport to drive across state borders. So here we are. But yeah, so definitely join the Jira LIfe every single Tuesday. We do have like shorts, and we have every Thursday. Every single Thursday. We do have some shorts, and we do have like small videos, but
Now,
every single Thursday we're
to
on.
be clear, we are live on Thursday. Doesn't mean you have to watch it on Thursday. We get it. It's 2 p.m. It's a work day. You have things you need to be doing. It is available on YouTube when you guys get off. So if you can't watch it live, you can definitely watch it when you're off. We also have it in podcast form on Spotify, on Apple, everywhere you get your podcast from. So there are multiple ways to watch us and listen to us and support us. But the one we're really pushing right now is YouTube.
And the watch hours, because we're trying to get to that 4,000 number.
You guys have a new program right now where you're trying to get more people to contribute to your podcast.
Wow, that is such a wonderful segue, because yes, we are offering membership levels. You can join and become either a Trelawney, a Bitbucketeer, a Confluencer, or up at the top, a Jeremigo. And so those are on YouTube right now. If you
I was visualizing hats with ears.
We have sombreros.
we do have some.
There was a picture with Bob with the sombrero on in there.
We also have super chats in the chat. So if you're here like this, like you can drop,
Right.
support there. And very soon we'll have our monetization for AdSense.
Likewise, we are always looking for guests. If you maybe you don't want to do a full podcast by yourself, but you just want to be on an episode, we'd love to hear stories from across the ecosystem. Our philosophy and our catchphrase has always been, we didn't choose a Jira LIfe, Jira LIfe chose us. Most of us accidentally our way into being a Jira admin. And this is a near universal experience. Almost no one sets out to be a Jira admin, yet here we all are. And we love to celebrate that fact, and we love to hear stories about how people got to be where they are.
So yeah, so become a regular, come on the show, and see you next Thursday.
All right,
Are we ready for the in-person?
let's
Do it.
all right, let's do it.
All right, so first up is, so just to let you know what we got. So we got 3 $25 gift cards, and then we've got a pair of Diamondback tickets, and then we've got a mic and a speaker. Is that speaker?
Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah. Cool. All right. First up is gift card.
A lot of swag.
Yeah, you guys take
Yeah,
as much
please take
swag as you
swag.
want to. We have
And the
a full
stickers.
team. All of us
Just
contributed to
Take
it.
your bag or whatever you're carrying, just dump it in there. You don't want to take it home.
All right, Michael Olian.
Yeah.
$25 gift card. I'll just need your email address. Okay. Next one. Celeste, $25 gift card. Oh, she just left?
Yes. Oh.
We'll give it to her anyway. All right.
I'm
Last-
a producer. Thanks for good.
Last
for a good
gift
show.
card. Bernadina.
We can knock her out.
Is she not here?
She's my wife.
Oh. I didn't realize that was your wife. All right. Let's see. Dawn.
Gone.
I don't see her.
She's not here?
Yeah. I didn't even see her leave.
She was here?
She was here.
She was here for the meal.
All right. We'll give it to her. All right. And then Diamondback tickets. Cat.
second place is 2 pairs of that.
That's no way of talking about the World Series contender.
Burton.
Yes.
Hey. Which one do you want?
You have a choice, you can take a mic or a Bluetooth speaker.
Set up microphone, is it?
JBL?
Yeah, I think it was a JBL. It's an Atlassian Creator.
Special edition. You won't find this in stores.
All right, and then the speaker. Catherine.
Congratulations.
Sean said so that we know which.
So everyone, thank you for coming out. Everyone online, thank you for tuning in. We know it's been an extra late episode, an extra long episode. We definitely appreciate you guys sticking around. And as we always say, we didn't choose the Jira LIfe.
The Jira LIfe chose us.
We've never done that in unison.
I know.
Our 3-minute outro?
I mean, we don't have to stick around.
Maybe like a minute and a half.
Thank you for listening to the Jira LIfe. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira LIfe. Be sure to join us and our other Jira Amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available as a podcast over on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to it and think it deserves a rating, we would very much appreciate it, as it will help others discover the Jira LIfe. Because we didn't choose the Jira LIfe. The Jira LIfe chose us.